Brian Knight on the line, talking up Clemson football with us live. So leave your comments or questions. I will wrap up a whole bunch of questions that SEC Dog has left because he's a big Georgia fan, and he has hit on this matchup from a number of angles throughout his comments and questions. So I'll wrap it all up just to say, what do you think of this matchup?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, anybody who owns a map you need to pull up Clemson, South Carolina, and you need to, I don't even like to say Google because I'm not a Google fan, but Google Maps it, Waze it to Athens, Georgia. These two schools are the two most prominent in college football teams to each other. I'm not talking about Georgia Tech to Georgia. I know I think they're a little closer. But the thing is I'm talking about consistently competing in the top 10. Georgia, Clemson should always be playing. Now I know that they've worked on a deal and they're going to be playing more here in the future. It is sad that two teams, even if they sucked butt, has not been playing. I'm still upset that Clemson and South Carolina didn't play this past year, and I don't care the reason. I don't care the explanation. I don't need somebody to draw it on a board for me like I'm 5 years old. There was no good reason why Clemson and South Carolina didn't play this past year. There's no good reason. I'm about to go rant on something else. There's no good reason. There's really no good reason for Clemson and Georgia not to be playing. I'm glad they're going to be playing in Charlotte. I didn't see all the questions here. For everybody who doesn't know this, y'all can see the comment section right now. I can't see the comment section, so I'm just going to throw this out there. Big concern for us on the defense. Our secondary's got to get better. I know Andrew Booth. He's a highlight reel. He was a number one recruit a couple of recruiting cycles ago. Guy's doing exactly what we hoped he would do. He's ridiculous, very, very talented. Darion Kendrick, he left the team. Then he got in some trouble. See what I said just a second ago? There was some issues. He's no longer on the team, and then boom, he gets arrested. I hope the best for him. I never want to see anybody do poorly because much more than football, there's people's lives, people's souls, and I believe in that. But go ahead. I can see it.
And based on what I saw, Brian, and heard back from Darion Kendrick, he even admitted after all that incident and then getting in trouble after leaving Clemson that, my stay at Clemson had nothing to do with it. Nobody did anything wrong there. It was all on me, all my fault.
And if you talk to anybody in the Clemson community, and I'm not talking about him personally, there was nothing wrong with him playing football. This guy is ridiculous. And there was times that he faced disciplinary measures, and Sweeney's having to keep somebody who he knows is one of his best defensive players off the field and possibly lose. Okay. So it goes back to Sweeney's character. But anyway, our secondary's got to pull their crap together. We have the talent back there. We have the experience. Excuse me. We have to pull it together. Other thing that I've been ranting and raving about for 2 seasons now, and you've heard me talk about this. You're like, oh God, Brian's going there again. Yeah, I'm going there again until the problem goes away. There is a lack of intensity on Clemson's football team. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if they're taking inner confidence, if that's even a word, between the players, and they're looking at each other going, hey, man, we've got this. We know we can overpower this team. This guy's a 5-star. He's a 5-star. He's a 4-star. He's a 3-star, but he plays better than the 5 stars. You've got all that going on. We're going to win this game. And then you get into the playoff mode. And you're playing at Ohio State. Ohio State made it very, very clear. And I know they've done it on your show. They've done it on my board. I mean, I could screenshot it and send it to you. Our number one goal was beating Clemson. That was it. They don't even care to talk about the 4-touchdown loss in the national championship game. We beat Clemson. We beat them. That lets you know that you've got there. But what that also lets you know is that even though the ACC, and I mean, part of it's because the ACC is just it just is what it is. Last year, I feel like we saw better ball. We could see some growth this year. with some of the teams and some of the progressions we've seen, hopefully, over the past few years. But Clemson knows they can go through the motions and beat the crap out of basically anybody. When they went up to Notre Dame, not taking a shot at Notre Dame, but here's just the truth. Notre Dame found out in that game in Charlotte, they did not play a healthy Clemson team that night in November on NBC. They didn't. They didn't. And our quarterback still smoked you. And he wasn't even the starting quarterback. So my point in all of that is they are comfortable in knowing, oh, man, we can just run through our motions. We're fine. It has killed us in 2 playoffs in a row. And my big concern for Clemson right now, we cannot turn into Oklahoma. We cannot turn into, no offense to you, Ohio State until this past year and that one national championship back in, 2013, has not done so well. But Oklahoma has really, really laid a golden turd in the college football playoff. And that begins to hurt your recruiting. That begins to hurt your validity among the college football world. No matter how much you want to sit there and spew out last year doesn't matter, that was last year, this is this year, and you go, well, hold on, your stats are like last year. You got a lot of the same players last year, playing a lot of the same teams, look a lot the same, and then you go in and you get your bloomers pulled down, you get your butt smacked in front of God and everybody, and then the next year you don't expect us to be that way. There isn't a lack of intensity with Clemson, and I question at times, is it because they're having to transform from this we're the underdogs and the Roy bus to now we're truly elite? And until we get that, Clemson fans can tell me all they want to, and I'm a big Clemson fan. I've pulled for them through the most horrendous. I feel like I'm owed what I'm getting right now because it's been horrendous for so many years. But if Clemson does not address this lack of intensity and lack of fight, they'll make it back to the college football playoff this year. And they will get punched in the unmentionables again this coming year. With all that talent, if they don't get intensity, if you find a great example, and I can use this as kind of like not even a parable, but just a good example. Hunter Renfrow was a walk-on at Clemson. But he fought, and it wasn't because he worked hard. It was because he produced on the field. I'm not saying working hard did not equal producing on the field. I'm saying you and I would go out, if you tried out for Ohio State, I tried out for Clemson today, you and I could work as hard as we want to. Guess what? We would not have the talent. We wouldn't. I mean, I feel quite confident in saying that about myself and you.
Absolutely.
No matter how hard we work. So working hard in this context means absolutely nothing.